Hi, welcome to the Critical Thinking and Writing course that we're presenting here at Mount San Antonio College. My name is David Lane. I'll be the professor for the course. It's an 8-week course and it's online, and everything is free. You don't have to spend any money whatsoever. All the readings and all the films that are required for the course are here on the syllabus and properly linked. This course is designed to help us think more critically over a broad number of issues, including such subjects as religion, mathematics, physics, psychology, and biology. To achieve this goal, the course will require that each student write 8 distinct essays over the course of the semester. Each essay must be at least 1,000 words in length and properly edited before final submission to your professor. I'll explain that in a second, what that means. First of all, this is just general information. My general website, neuralsurfer.com, which we created back in 1994. The Runenbaum Library, named after Steve Runenbaum, who used to be the Dean of Humanities at Mount San Antonio College, has an exhaustive list of free books and magazines and things of that nature. Then we have the Neural Surfer channel, which has about 200, I think, original films. And then the email for online students only is dlane@mountsac.edu. And for those who take the class at Mount San Antonio College, neuralsurfer@yahoo.com. Here's my Facebook account, Twitter account. And of course, if you have any questions, just email me, and you should get a response within 48 hours. If you don't get a response, it means I didn't get it or it went to junk mail, and I'll have to, very difficult to retrieve from there. Now, here, let's get to the instructions. For all online students, this is what you're going to have to do. Number 1. Be sure to create your own personal website, and I want you to use Google Sites because it's easy. Now, when you click onto Google Sites, what will happen is it'll bring you to this page. It says, thinking of creating a website, it'll tell you how to do it. It's free, and quite frankly, it takes about 20 seconds to create. And on this website, you're going to put all the things that you need to do. So keep that in mind. The first thing you do is create a website. And then the second thing we want to look at, or the third thing we want to do, is do all the assigned readings to the best of your ability. There's going to be a lot of reading. And granted, some of you are going to have to skim some of this stuff because it's pretty exhaustive, but I want you to at least get a fundamental grounding of what was being stated. We also have a number of original films which we've created over the last, about 8-9 years. So you want to watch all of those. And then what we've done is something kind of different, and this is a beta test. What I've done is created a class form that was designed off of Yahoo, and all we really want to do with this particular form as we click into it is I want you to post over here. Click on here, you can post it, you'll hit this post button. And what you're going to do is you're going to post your essay. Let's say it's your first essay, so you say first essay. And then what you'll do is just copy and paste whatever essay you have, and you'll put it in here. Then you'll send it. What will then happen is that other students will have access to that essay and be able to reply to it and show you any mistakes in logic or corrections in spelling or grammar or syntax. And what you're going to have, you're going to take that feedback and then incorporate it in your finalized version of an essay and then submit that. Now, the way we're going to do that is that you want to reply to, each student wants to reply to at least 2 essays. And once 2 essays have been replied to, find somebody else's, because we don't want to overdo it and we don't want people to be neglected here. Now, there might be some glitches here, but I don't think there will be if you just follow the instructions fairly cohesively. Now, let's go to number 6. Be sure to post only your finalized essay on your website after incorporating whatever corrections other students may find. Now, your professor, namely me, will review your first 4 essays during the middle of the semester, hence the midterm, and then I'll go through the last 4 essays at finals time. Now, this gives you some leeway to keep correcting your essays and making them better. There's only 2 fundamental deadlines. I want everybody to know that, and that is midterm time, which is in our case March 23rd, and at April 18th. I would suggest that you get each of your essays done by each Sunday night. Granted, you can go over them for the next week or 2 before midterm or finals. Now let's go through the course outline here. What you'll see is there's going to be a lot of reading, so don't get too intimidated. Again, it's all free, it doesn't cost you any money. What you're going to see is required introductory readings, and what you're going to do is you're going to click on to these readings, like in this particular case. This is going to be critical reading towards critical writing. Go through it to kind of give an understanding, an overview of what this class is about. Then we have a field guide to critical thinking, a mini guide to critical thinking in writing, and then a list of common fallacies. Now, the way I've designed this course is based upon a fairly famous but controversial book published in the latter part of the 1990s by Edward O. Wilson called Consilience. He's an emeritus professor at Harvard University. And he's made an argument that in order to understand knowledge systems, what you want to be able to do is understand all the various levels of knowledge, from mathematics to physics to biology to psychology to neuroscience to religion and to the paranormal in this case and technology. So let me explain how this is going to work in a critical writing class. The first week is on mathematics. So you have a required guide, which is the first thing you're going to read is The Hidden Side of Wolfgang Pauli, very famous Nobel Prize winner in physics. He's famous for the Pauli exclusion principle in terms of electrons not being able to occupy the same space. A famous article by Michael Shermer, founder of Skeptic, called Patternicity. And then there's required readings, which I have written for various magazines, that you'll go through in terms of how people misuse the notion of numbers. And then we have some required films which illustrate the point we're trying to get to. Now, watch what happens. The very first week, you're going to have an essay prompt. Write 1,000 words or more essay focusing on the issue of apophenia and patternicity, which you'll understand after you're reading and after watching the films. Then you're going to find some examples from history, from your own personal experience, and then you're going to write an essay on this thing. And I don't want to go into too much detail because it's somewhat self-explanatory. After you've done the essay, you will then post it on the MSAC writing forum, which I had shown you previously. You're going to want to have 2 students look at it and correct it. So you basically have 2 things going on. You're going to write an essay after you've done the reading and watch the movies. Then you're going to go onto the forum, post your essay, and you're going to look at 2 other essays to kind of help the students. You're all here to help each other to become better critical thinkers and to become better writers. Now, after you've done that, then you can post your finalized version on your website. Because remember, your website will contain everything you've done for the class. You should also probably incorporate at the very bottom of your essay the kind of corrections you've made and perhaps what kind of contributions other students have made to help your essay. Plagiarism will not be tolerated in any form, so don't even go there. Make certain, as I said to my high school students many years ago, maybe 30 years ago, bomb with style, which means you can always redo the essay, but you can't redo plagiarism because you're going to get an F for it. So avoid doing that. Now let's go again. You'll see the same pattern here. You go to physics and you have a required guide of certain things you want to read. Now this is a little more difficult. Alan Turing, very famous, basically the progenitor of the computer models that we have today, are based on some of his papers from the 30s and later 40s and 50s. And then we have required readings. And then, of course, we have the required films. Again, you'll do the same thing. You'll go onto the MSAC class forum. You'll vet your paper. And then you'll have the corrections incorporated into your finalized product. And you'll put it on your Google site. Now, continuing on, you'll see in week 3, we do the same thing with biology. And then we go into week 4, we go into psychology. Now, at this stage, you now know that after 4 weeks, you have to then turn in your 4 essays to your teacher. How are you going to do that? It's very simple. You're simply going to email me a link to your Google site. And then you'll get a finalized grade from me about the first 4 papers you've done. I will be looking at your papers every week, but I'm not going to grade them until you give me the finalized version. And you do that for the first 4, from all the way from mathematics to physics and biology and psychology. You do that, and you have to turn it in by March 23rd. That stage, you send me a link to your Google site. Okay, as we continue down, you'll see that we move from, now we go into the second part of the course. We go into neuroscience, we go into religion, we go into the paranormal, and we go into technology. Grading. Each student will be graded on the quality of their essays, 8 total, and their contributions in improving the essays of others in this course. Each student should do the required reading, even if skimming certain parts, and watch the required films. Now, going back to this, I want everybody to understand, yes, this is a fairly intense course. but I want you to view me as your coach. I want you to view me as somebody who's trying to help you get through the course, not somebody who's merely a gatekeeper trying to shut a door on you. So let me just summarize this. If you have any questions and any problems, you simply write to me and I'll respond to you within 48 hours. But generally speaking, this is a fairly clear syllabus. I don't think you should have that much difficulty. But if we do, I'm here to help you out. Thank you so much.